By the time this video comes out, it'll be the day of FanFest, and I'm excited to see what gets presented. I'll also be watching it live and posting my reactions later on the channel, so look out for that. I've seen plenty of videos on the topic of what people would like in 8.0, and a lot of them fall on the same topics of, we want better rewards, and not giving any good ideas, or don't y'all sucks and the game is dead. It isn't true, but whatever. I want to present some actual ideas that I personally would like. You're more than welcome to add whatever you want in the comments. And hey, if it gets presented, that's cool. If it doesn't, whatever. I have 3 main topics for the video: the world of 14, the content, and the rewards, with some bonus things at the end. The overworld in 14 can be huge and expansive, with plenty to admire. However, my first suggested video is to make zones a bit smaller, so that there's more interactivity in general between players and the zone itself. I actually wrote down all these, and this wasn't even on the list. Revitalizing old areas for maybe new content. Is it proving? The Light Feather Proving Grounds in Heavensward. There's a whole area that could be used for something that they really don't use it for anything. I think it would be cool for them to use the area for maybe 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3s, Beastmaster, maybe other content. Along with making zones smaller, I'll to experiment with making more zones vertical. That would be pretty cool. Instead of going from one end to another, well, you have it so you go from the bottom to the top, or top to the bottom. Labyrinthos was kind of like that, but it was more, still pretty wide. It was pretty difficult to get across, especially if you didn't unlock flying in. Solution 9's Commerce Circle. Solution 9's Commerce Sector is a good start to the vertical, but they only put like a half floor at the top, when if you look at the key art, there's like a whole mall full of people, and it looks so cool, and I wish they did that, but they didn't do that, and it was so cool. I wish they did that so you could walk around the mall, and there was a cool mall. Fuck, dude. Pet peeves aside, I think they could do a good job with the vertical area, because it would look cool, and it would be super interesting. Especially if it's a crafting area, because I think it would be interesting to have to walk around and do stuff. I know people would complain about it, but it would be cool. Now onto the topic that people have latched on to the most recently. It has been rewards. Feeling like if the rewards aren't good, they're not motivated to do it. It's just kind of a lame excuse, to be honest. I feel like the devs have an issue with giving out rewards because they don't want to leave people out. So they give out rewards in a weird way. However, that is not the main topic that I want to talk about right now. That could be an old separate thing. I want to present some cool reward types that I'm not sure if they can do or not, but it would be cool to see. A cool reward type that I'd personally want is a job glamour system for skills. Hear me out on this. Being able to visually change what a skill looks like based on which one you like the most, I think would be pretty cool. Using Bard as an example, I could glamour over Shadow Bite with Bard's past skilled wide volley, because I like how it looks more than I like how Shadow Bite looks. And it could just visually look like wide volley, but it's actually just Shadow Bite. I think that would change up the gameplay for people and make the way you play visually different than everybody else. My next idea for rewards goes to the people who are our peers or video makers and whatnot. There are plenty of animations that NPCs have out in the world that you can't get, and I think that would be cool rewards for doing content. There's an NPC in the Wolves Den that has a cool backstretch animation with their axe that would be cool to have on a warrior. And I know that's an example of another job type animation, but there's plenty of animations out there that are, non-weapons that would be cool to be able to get through content. I did get a suggestion from my bro about another type of awards being more varied outfits and weapon designs that aren't just from design contests. That would be neat because I would want them to go, a bit wild with it, especially with the graphics update and you know, how good stuff looks now. They could go wild with different types of armor sets and different weapons and not just stick to the same types that you get. This all leads to the big third subject of this video, the content itself. It would be too easy just to say content needs to come out more often with crazy quality and all this other stuff. People would just say that and not add anything else to it and not add suggestions about, what would help. So that's what I'm going to do for this last part. Content should be more repeatable and valuable, not just getting emotes and minions and mounts. Having some content that has like its own progression in it, like Cosmic does, where if you finish one tool and you start another one, it gets easier the more tools you get. I think something like being able to upgrade a gear set in a mode so that it gives you more drops, or you get better healing or more damage or something. So there's more variety in the extra content. It's not just base gear stuff. And being able to earn better item level gear from alternative ways than just tomes would be a great idea. The Chaotic Alliance raid had pretty good rewards for completing it, even though it was pretty hard for a lot of people. I enjoy it because it's fun, but they could tune it down a little bit and make it not as rough, but a little more grindy maybe. That brings me on to my next topic of having content that's just dumb fun and out of nowhere instead of being on a schedule. Crossovers and seasonal events are cool, but sometimes you just need something crazy to happen just for the hell of it, just for people to come together and do. Like maybe there's a huge boss fight that happens and a bunch of people have to go to that place and fight it, and it gives you something that's super worth it. And if you missed it, you missed it, and it'll come back another time. But you have to look out for it, and it could bring people together. Here's my last point about content. It's that it needs to scale better with difficulty, because doing hard stuff needs to reward you better than doing the bare minimum. And it kills motivation to do hard content if people see the rewards and say it's not worth it. That also means not having everything be markable or sellable so that they could just buy it and not have to interact with the content at all. You can have some stuff be markable or sellable, that's whatever. But everything, especially the super valuable stuff, you should have it not tradable, so they have to do it. And if they don't want to do it because it's not markable or sellable, then either they do it or they don't do it. But at least they had the thought of doing it and not just buying it. Now, could I go over the current systems, how they can improve, like gearing, tomestones, and weekly tome caps and stuff? Maybe in the future, but we'll see. Now it's time for the bonus category, where I just talk about stuff that I want in general because they didn't fit in any of the other categories. Updated and highly customizable UI would be pretty sick, especially if it's like a new and improved drop down menu where you get all the information in one place, like on the top bar or the side or the bottom, something that clears out space on the screen. I'd also want a music player where, based on the orchestration roles you got, it plays whatever song you want to play at the time, with some restrictions like dungeons you haven't done before, trials, etc. But being able to play music wherever you want to, and it's personal, that would be pretty cool. The mountain menu allowing you to sort by certain types, like the name in the order from A to Z or Z to A, if they're multi-seaters or not, or if they're in expansion order. I think they're expansion order by default. It would be nice to be able to sort your mounts in different ways instead of just having to scroll through all of them. And the final bonus one is a G-pose update, so you'll be able to control the time of day and the weather. Because sometimes you want it to be sunset and you have to wait a while. It just kind of sucks when you want to take pictures. That is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed my nonsensical rambling and weird noises in the background because I forgot to turn off my fan and I wasn't messing with stuff on my desk. I will be posting a reaction to the FanFest later, so look forward to that. And feel free to comment some suggestions of stuff you would want in the game. I'm eager to hear your suggestions, and maybe if I make another video, I'll bring up the suggestions. So, yeah, that's it.